Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at the 2021 Built to Last inaugural Holiday Awards Gala. Take your seats, kick back, and relax. The show starts now.
What an intro. Kind of makes you want to get up and move a little bit. Welcome and thank you for attending our first ever holiday gala. Hi, I'm Peter Beasley, Chairman of the Board for Blacks United and Leading Technology International. Core to our DNA is giving. Now, that might sound easy, but there's a lot we do behind the scenes. We focus in three main areas: helping people get into tech, working to help Black people advance in tech, and delivering solutions to help launch, grow, and own Black tech enterprises. Today, you'll get a glimpse of the works our volunteers provide. And I say a glimpse as there's so many people to thank. With this being our first awards presentation, it's been tough identifying the best categories and balancing the various contributions from so many people. We truly wish we could recognize everyone, but of the long list of people who have brought together today's festivities, I'll start off right and identify two. Joy Tony is our illustrious Madam of Ceremonies and ringleader. And she's got one of the fun parts, giving away prizes. And I'm trying real hard to give her 5 seconds back of my 1 minute intro. John Melanson, our vice chair, will be leading us through much of today's ceremony. And I have a lot to say more about John a little bit later. I could go on, but I'll be back a time or two later in the program. But for now, John, let's keep it moving and get the party started.
Thank you, Peter. As BUiLT Vice Chair and co-founder, it has been an amazing first year, and I look forward to our continued journey with Blacks United and Leading Technology. For those of you watching, thank you for tuning in. We have a great evening for you planned as we recognize and honor those who made our first year truly special. Here's what we have in store for you today. An opening keynote by Jarek Beeson, Senior Vice President and CISO at Epic, a performance by artist Robin X, our chapter and individual awards, and a closing keynote by Trina Hill, Senior Vice President at Synchrony. And of course, prizes. We'll be giving away some great door prizes throughout our event, so be sure to pay attention, like right now. Joy?
Hey, John, thank you so much. That is absolutely right. We do have a great evening planned for our builders today. So my name is Joy Tony. I'm the BUiLT Board of Director, as well as the Recognition Committee Chair. And I'll serve as your host this evening, the MC. So like John said, we have some great content in store from you. You'll hear from three amazing speakers and find out who's who amongst our chapters and our members. But first, let's show some love by selecting a lucky winner. And maybe I feel like giving away a $10 Amazon gift card. So who will that lucky winner be? Well, let's see. Gerald Trueblood, you are our first winner of the evening. You just won a $10 Amazon gift card, and we will email that gift card to your email address on our membership file. So you see, good things happen when you're a part of BUiLT. So John, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you, Joy. At BUiLT, we aim to significantly improve global Black representation in technology by uniting tech professionals, partner organizations, and allies. Our organization mainly consists of Black technologists from college to senior management professionals. During our first year of existence, we have hosted over 100 events and services, including Lean Six Sigma, ethical hacking, blockchain innovations, virtual and augmented reality, mentoring, diversity dialogues, and notable panel conversations, to name a few. If you take another look at our logo, you'll notice a big U and a little I for good reason. As a BUiLT member, when you win, we all win. It's all about you. Let our organization be a part of your success story. I'm reminded of the African proverb, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Let's go farther together with BUiLT. Tonight, it is my heartfelt pleasure to introduce our opening keynote speaker, Mr. Jarek Beeson. Jarek serves as Senior Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer at Epic, where he leads enterprise and product security organizations. He is a security hobbyist turned professional. He has served in progressive roles at some of the most respected companies known for cybersecurity, including Lockheed Martin, RSA, Deloitte, and AECOM, where he was a trusted advisor to executives within government and Fortune 500 organizations. Jarek advised such companies on cybersecurity strategy, architecture, and program development. In his previous role at AECOM, he was responsible for security architecture, risk management, compliance, and overall security strategy. With the heart of a teacher, Jarek serves as a regular SANS Institute speaker and was a leading co-chair for the SANS Cybersecurity Leadership Summit this year. He also made the time to speak to our BUiLT ethical hacking students this summer. That's the professional Jarek that we know and appreciate today. But what you may not know is that once upon a time, Jarek was actually a student of mine in a summer computer program in the early 2000s. I still remember this tall, lanky kid with swag, before the term swag even existed. It's been a privilege to watch this young man with admiration, both in his professional career and his most important role as a husband, father, role model, and frankly, who I like to be when I grow up. The student has become the master. Without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to my friend Jarek.
John, thank you for that warm introduction. Ironically, as the student, I lost my hair before you. How did that work out, huh? Well, thank you for that. I couldn't really describe my background any better, but I'll attempt to give you guys just a few more, tidbits about myself. I am the CISO at Epic. We are a legal services company. Prior to that, I did spend some time at another Fortune 200 organization, which was about 100,000 people. And before that, I worked my way up to one level under partner at Deloitte. And before that, I worked at RSA, as John alluded to. And then I also got a chance to spend some time at Lockheed Martin, protecting the nation's nuclear secrets. But on a personal note, I am Monica's husband and the father of 4 amazing children. So my career has taken me across the world, and I've experienced a bevy of situations. And given that today's theme is built to last, I figured I would talk about some principles that you can build upon, a foundation of sorts, because nothing you build will last if the foundation isn't strong. So I'm a 34-year-old Black man. That's not the principle, right? But it's more so a fact. And I was 23 when I held my first leadership position. And the first principle is the principle of the hammer. And I brought up the fact that I was 23 because at 23, I faced a lot of obstacles. A leader at 23 leading men that were 2-3 times my age. And some of the things that I've learned are you have to be the hammer. Throughout your career, people will doubt you because you're younger, because of the melanin in your skin, because of the school you did or didn't go to. I went to ICT Tech, not the most respected school out there. And if your background doesn't fit the cookie cutter mold that hiring managers are looking for, that could make things hard. It can make it harder to get to where you want to be. But this only limits you if you let it. You may hear the term glass ceiling to depict the extent in which your career can grow. But I'll be honest, glass is easily broken. Pretty much any equally hard substance can break glass. Glass can break glass. So let's use another sought after metal, diamonds. Diamonds are widely known as the hardest substance known to man. But one thing that is known to be able to break diamonds is a hammer. Scientifically speaking, a hammer is stronger than the diamond is hard. I always remind myself of that because whenever something is hard, as long as I am strong, I can overcome it. Because when something is strong, it actually depends on its internal structure and composition. So some of the things that I look at and things that I do to be strong, I make sure that I have a group of people around me, much like you guys have it BUiLT, that will consistently pour into me. I read and I consume material from strong leaders. I follow them on social media. It's important that you have a strong network because remember, you are a hammer and you can break any barrier placed in front of you. The second principle that I want to talk about is the principle of the flashlight. When you hold a flashlight to light someone else's path, you actually light your own path as well. And I remember that because that reminds me to give back, help others, much like what you guys have within this BUiLT community. Find the next version of you and show them how to get to where you are, but help them avoid some of the landmines that you had to step in along your career. Take the time to prepare them for the obstacles that just cannot be avoided. Be the example that gives them confidence that someone that looks like them or with a similar background as them can actually make it. John Malunton was that for me back when I was in high school. He was a younger man then, but he spent his weekends helping the likes of myself and others learn computer programming, which in many ways set me off into a career in tech. But the most powerful thing he did was he was a Black man that showed me that not only could I make it in the technology world, that I could actually thrive. It's been said that seeing is believing, but I think you can flip that equation around. When you believe, you see. And he made me believe that someone like myself could make it in tech. And because of that, I saw myself in the career that I'm in now. Me speaking with you guys today is the harvest from the seeds that he planted, knowingly or unknowingly, when I was just in the 10th grade. The third principle I would like to discuss, I call the overalls principle. And Thomas Edison has a quote that says, "Opportunity is missed by most because it looks like it's dressed in overalls and it looks like hard work." It's simple. Time and time again, the most successful people that I know work harder than everyone else. And work harder does not mean working longer. It does not mean working more hours. It's the quality of the work. And it's important that you know that when you work harder, you will be able to outpace your competition. The more time you spend working on your craft, the more time you will be putting in to being ahead of your peers. You are making an investment in yourself by being part of this organization, but it can't stop here. You always have to outwork yourself, outwork your peers, and you have to outlearn your peers. Learning is big in this field. You will never stop learning. If you stop learning, you will become stagnant and you will be left behind. And the moment that you stop, someone else that is working hard will outwork you and they will take opportunities right from under you. I can say this from experience. I worked around people with more experience that were older, more tenured, better skills, better education, better connections than I've had. But they did not outwork me. And that is why I started getting the larger projects and the promotions. The fourth principle is really going to tie all these together, and I call it the stairway principle. Stairways embody the three previous principles, but they're also a call to action. To get to the top of the stairs, you have to be strong, both mentally and physically. You have to fight through the fatigue when you see that there is another flight between you and your next goal. You will want a community behind you like the BUiLT community to catch you when you fall, because you will fall. There will be failures, but having a community like BUiLT will make sure that you fall a couple steps instead of a whole flight of stairs. That's a big difference. You also have to be willing to take on the burden of being that support for somebody else, maybe even putting them on your back and taking them up a set of stairs. You do this by mentoring and giving back to your community. Lastly, you have to be willing to work. Nobody ever ran up a flight of stairs and did it without getting a little tired. After a while, you start to get into a groove. After a while, it gets easier. And the harder you work, the faster you will be able to get up the flight of stairs. And I chose this graphic specifically because you can't see what's around the corner. All too often, this lack of clarity about how things will play out leave people in a state of indecision. Set a goal, start working towards it. No decision is a decision. Take the first step. Reach out and ask someone to be a mentor. Start that book. Study for that certification. Enroll in that master's program. It doesn't matter what it is. Just take the first step. Now, these are just a few principles, but I believe, based off of my own experience and the things that I've observed, that if you can embody these principles and you can practice these principles, you will lay a foundation that you can build a great career upon, and it will be built to last. Thank you for your time.
Wow. Yeah, Jarek, thank you for those kind words as well. We've, known each other for quite a while now, and I look forward to, all the years ahead too. Now, whether it's your podcast, everyone be sure to check out Cybersecurity Chats by Epic, EPIQ. I'm going to go ahead and paste that in the chat so you have that as your reference. But Jarek, whether it's your podcast or live presentations and conversations, I learn something new every time I listen to you. So thank you, first and foremost, for being so selfless with your time, by continuously making yourself available to those wanting to learn more. And those 4 principles, I was just taking some notes too. Those are great principles that we can all apply in our, in our own lives, both work and outside of work. The hammer, and just having that internal strength and, just knowing what you need to stay strong and be resilient. And, the flashlight, lighting others' path and illuminating, which will also allow you to illuminate your own path in the process. And, the overalls, I really subscribe to the overalls principle too. Like you, there have been a lot of times where, folks have taken a step back, when opportunity presented itself, not knowing that had they taken even a small step forward, bigger things and opportunities awaited them. But, a lot of times it's easier to talk about what you're going to do versus taking that action to actually get it done. So overalls has definitely resonated with me. And the stairway, just having the stamina in the community. And I think it was important too, how you mentioned, not only to pull people up this staircase, but as leaders, we get tired as well. And there are going to be times where we need to draw from our community as well. So, and there's no shame in that. And we need to be okay, drawing from our community as need be. So those are awesome principles. And then Jarek, if it's okay with you, how about we take a few questions from our audience? Got a few attendees on. So for the attendees, who are attending live, feel free to type your question in the Q&A box. There's a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Use that. And we'll pick a few questions to answer live as time allows. And any questions that we're unable to get to, we'll make sure to follow up with responses afterwards. But while we're waiting for questions, I'll ask the first one. So Jarek, one of the things, and maybe being part of Gen X myself, as far as just protecting your own mental space, that's something that I never really given a lot of thought to historically, but now I'm giving that a lot more priority. So how do you protect your own mental space, and how do you find your own quiet mental space when things get kind of hectic, with work, family, everything above, to give you clarity?
Yeah, I actually have to schedule thinking time. I find that it's important to plan your priorities. Plan the things that you prioritize, and don't let everything kind of come to itself. So for example, I set aside time every day to be on LinkedIn. I set aside 15 minutes every day just to think. It's completely clear. And it's important that you plan those priorities instead of prioritizing your plans, because it ensures that the things that matter most to you will take place, whatever it may be. It could be working out, it could be cooking, it could be spending time with the kids. But if not, the world, life, being a CISO, it'll consume everything.
Great, good, awesome. Yeah, thanks for that. And then now some questions are trickling in as well. So first question we have is, how do you go about identifying a good mentor, Jarek?
I find that everything is about the fruit, right? So I look at someone that has the fruit that I want one day, and I pursue that person. And there are a lot of ways you can go about doing that, but ultimately it's just reaching out. And we have a world of social media where it's a lot easier these days to just reach out. And you might send out 10, you may only get one back, but people are generally flattered when you reach out to them. Whether they have the time to do something about it is another thing. But see someone that is where you want to be and go after it.
Love it. All right, another question we have is, what are your thoughts, and this one comes up quite a bit in the field of cybersecurity, what are your thoughts about obtaining certifications?
Get certifications that are specific to the things that you want to do. Getting a CISSP your first year into cybersecurity, it doesn't make sense. It's not going to be applicable. You won't get into management, as an example. But if you want to pursue a career in cloud security, yeah, get a cloud security cert. But just don't lean on your cert and think your cert is going to get you where you need to be. It may check a box that a recruiter or a hiring manager has, but it's only one step in the process.
Thank you, Jarek. Ooh, this one is more introspective. Now, Jarek, when did you discover who you are?
You know what? I think I am consistently recreating myself. I was not a mentor when I first started into the field. I did not plan on democratizing leadership strategies like I try to do these days. So I think every few or so years, I take some inventory of who I am, where I am. I look at the goals I've set out, and sometimes I set new ones. And sometimes I reprioritize. When I had kids, I changed things dramatically with how I approach things. One, they forced me to. And two, I started thinking more about legacy and less about myself. And that's kind of why I'm doing some of these things that I'm doing here.
Appreciate that. All right. Another one. As a leader, CISO, Senior Vice President, what are your areas of focus as you continue to learn and keep up with things in the security industry?
Yeah, so as you move up the leadership ranks, you are less involved with the technology, and it's more about influencing people. So I've studied sociology, I studied psychology, I studied philosophy. I spend a lot of time lately studying generations. You brought up Generation X. Generation X approaches the world differently than Generation Y, and so does Generation Z, as an example. This is something that I spent the last maybe 5 or 6 months focusing on, because we're really trying to change behavior. We're trying to reach people, but people want to be reached different ways. So I've spent a lot of time focusing on the people side of leadership, because ultimately that's what leaders do. They lead people and they influence people. So that's where I'm spending my time. And that's influence goes up, down, left, right, you name it. You don't have to be in a leadership position to influence. And I find myself influencing, leaders that aren't even in the tech field, as an example. So that's what I do.
But yeah, I echo that 100%, as far as emphasis on people, or truly make the world go round. And always need to take time to, focus on the person behind the why something's being asked. Thank you for restating that. This one, okay, we can get a little candid, open it on this here too, Jarek. So as being a Black man in the tech field, have you found it to be unbalanced in the workload, or harder, or to be taken more serious, or in areas where you really have to assert yourself respectfully? How do you go about doing that without coming across as being angry?
Yeah, so I'm Black, I'm educated, I'm a cyber guy, I'm a husband, I'm a father, but the one that matters the least is the fact that I'm Black. It's really about the output. Companies at the end of the day, they care about green, right? And if you are producing, that is what matters most. And to be completely honest with you, if you're producing and you're Black, that actually helps, because more so than ever, diversity, equity, and inclusion is on everybody's mind. So people that are young and Black getting into the field actually have an advantage over people like myself that did it when it wasn't common, it wasn't normal. Plus, you guys have examples to see. I had one. It was John, right? There weren't very many Black people in tech, definitely no Black people in cyber. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way because I didn't have that. So I don't find my complexion really being a problem. I can say that if you bring your culture into your workplace, you may find some challenges, but that applies to any race or any age grade. If you come in with baggy pants or skinny pants, if you come in with earrings in your ear, which I did, and learn from. People aren't necessarily going to respect you, but that doesn't have to do with being Black. That has to do with you bringing your culture into a workplace that has a workplace culture, and that may not align.
Yeah, I remember Jarek did have that hoop earring in his ear for quite a while in his younger days.
Blame Michael Jordan for that one.
All right, another a deep question for you. So regarding the hammer rule, the hammer principle, focusing on not attacking each problem like a nail, but with proper analysis, you can understand bigger problems to solve. So in your experience, Jarek, what particular things contributed to you learning how to best handle, those hammer-like situations?
Yeah. So there's a quote, right? If you approach every situation, if all you have is a hammer, every situation looks like a nail. I wouldn't say that I would use the hammer rule in that principle. The hammer rule is really just something that you remember, meaning there is no obstacle that you can't break past because a hammer can break a diamond, right? That being said, when I looked at obstacles, one of the big portions of the hammer rule was to have a strong network behind you. And that network can also be an ally. And that ally can be on the other side of the glass that you're trying to get past. So oftentimes we think about networking within our peer group, but you need to network all across the board. I can tell you of the 7 jobs that I've had, 5 of them came from networking. And every single time that new job came, it was a step up. So it's important that you have a strong network and that you're contributing to that network. You can't just have someone in your Rolodex and think that it's going to be sufficient. You have to be pouring into them. You have to be serving them just as much as you're going to hope that they can serve you one day.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Derek. Folks, I think that's all the time we have, as far as questions. If we didn't answer your question, we made note. We'll get back to you to help get some answers for you. But Jarek, I just want to thank you again. I believe our audience got a lot out of the conversation and the presentation. I know I got a lot out of it. We'll be in touch, my friend. And Joy, I'd like to turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you, John. Certainly do appreciate Jarek coming out. Really a lot of great comments and love in the chat for what he had to say. So that was actually pretty awesome. Let's see here. Remove your spotlight. And just wanted to thank everyone again for joining us this evening. Jarek, you got a lot of thank yous in the chat, so that's good news. I'm not sure if our next speaker is intimidated or not, but I'm sure he will give it a try. You're a tough act to follow. And as we get ready to listen to him, I'll go ahead and draw another prize winner. So if I can get the name of the next winner. And congratulations again, Gerald, for winning our first prize for Amazon gift card. So I think I'll give another Amazon e-gift card away. Van D. Van D is our winner of our Amazon gift card that you've just won. We will send you that e-gift card to your email address on the membership file. And for everyone else in the audience, don't worry, we still have some great prizes in store. We're actually going to do another prize giveaway once our next speaker is done speaking. So our next guest speaker is Robin X. He's a rap artist, a United Nations ambassador, an anti-bullying and albinism advocate, and a native Memphian. Woo, woo. So he's representing Orange Mound. And from a young age, Rodarius Brown, better known as Robert X on the stage, he has endured bullying because of his albinism. Music is an essential part of Robin X's life and has become a way for him to relieve his pain and gain self-confidence. In his neighborhood of Orange Mound in Memphis, Tennessee, he raises awareness of his condition and he visits schools. He inspires talks to young students against bullying. And his story of selflessness and self-worth, confidence, and acceptance, just emphasize his unique identity. He's also written a children's book called The Colors of Ole, which you can purchase on Amazon. It's a fascinating story that brings the readers into it from the very first page where you read the book, holds your attention throughout, and it instills the message that sometimes all you need is to believe and see the beauty in the world around you. So before I bring out Robin, I'll just play this video so you can get to learn his music a little bit better.
The world has got you down. The world has got you down, yeah. One step leads to another. You can't live your life in the gutter. Well, even when the world has got you down, gotta find a way to turn around. I want to be pure, shine a light for another. I want to be pure, find a way to turn around.
Your heart ain't stopped, your blood still runs through veins. Why do you wanna leave? That you was a human being. No one sees your exhaustion, no one asks when you're screaming. Why get them satisfaction of watching you walk away? Dying is freaking easy, living you have to pay. Invest yourself in the pain, stubborn, rubbish, lose yourself to the pain. You're still breathing, able to fight again. Trials and tribulation, trapped inside of this game. Purpose you have to change. How you gonna make a difference when you just staying the same? Risk too freaking high, better rock trying to climb over a mountain and build a plane. Blessings don't come so easily when you want to a dream. Always someone that's hungry or waiting to eat again. How dare you have the audacity to fall asleep today? Procrastinate all you want, those are doors choosing the flame. Someone who has nothing is running dead in the rain. Hold yourself accountable, you're not here in the day. No one said it would be easy for you to have you a dream. Understand all your fears, they reside inside of me. Speak for the better you, this is what you can be. I'm just a stupid kid who had a stupid dream, but I made myself appear as the legend who'll never leave. Throw me in a pool of sharks and I promise the sharks will bleed. Look inside of my eyes as the storm turns.
One step leads to another. You can't live your life in the gutter. Well, even when the world's got you down, gotta find a way to turn around. I want to be pure, shine a light for another. I want to be pure, find a way to turn around.
My heart ain't stopped, my blood still runs through veins. Maybe I'll never make it, maybe I'm just a statement to little boys and girls. Sadly, they are mistaken. Money don't make you pure, killing don't make you real. What was inside their soul? Real as they ain't in here. Don't tell me that you the pieces, let me say it and it's real. Truly born in your street until muscles ripping that fear. Lines are blurred, my skin is burned. I still arise straight from the blood. Warrior still in chains, craving the earth to win. I fought many a battle, lost my soul to the gravel. Everything that don't matter, you stripped me, kept me from all of my happiness. I've been fighting you, trying you still won't let me rest. It's blood on battlefield, praying that I get killed. Please don't won't let me rest, it's blood that I'ma spill. Yeah, like these four walls, crowded through four walls. It's crazy how many died at the hand of these four walls. Tragic an adolescent, when packed in a prison, prevent perception, accepted the deafness and depression. I know exactly what that can cause. Little with battle scars of the people, it killed them all. For the pencil was not a sword, message wasn't delivered. He didn't develop temper, bullet had hit her higher. Mama would've lost her son. Tell me about coincidence, frankly I don't believe in it. We're all here for a reason.
One step leads to another. You can't live your life in the gutter. Well, even when the world's got you down, gotta find a way to turn around. I want to be pure, shine a light for another. I want to be pure, find a way to turn around.
1, 2, 3. I am power. I am pure. Living this. I am sure. Unafraid. Won't back down. I'm the king on the ground. They thought I was down. I bounce right back. I get through hell. If I can take that, then you can't stop me. You can't shake me. I am a one thing. Black and bright man.
One step leads to another. You can't live your life in the gutter. Well, even when the world's got you down, gotta find a way to turn around. I want to be pure, shine a light for another. I want to be pure, find a way to turn around.
That felt pretty good.
All right. That was Robin X. Hey, Rob, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am great. As always, big fan, big fan. Love your music, love your sound, love your story. So speaking of your story, why don't you tell our viewers about your story?
Okay, well, as you can see, I'm a person who happens to have albinism. The type of albinism that I have is ocular cutaneous albinism. Try saying that 3 times. What it means is I have no pigmentation in my hair, skin, and eyes. Basically making me more sensitive to sunburn, and it can also cause vision problems in people. I also suffer with something called nystagmus, which means my eyes may bob and weave left and right. You know, I think it's just me preparing for a boxing match, but who's to say? Um, so that made my life pretty difficult growing up in a predominantly Black neighborhood. I just didn't feel comfortable or wanted. I wanted to be accepted. And for a while, I didn't know that there was something wrong with me. My family ensured that I was loved and taken care of. So I didn't know that I was different until I got around other children and other people that made me feel different. Through this pain that I got, it brought me to a low point. The name calling, the fights, the bullying, the being suspended and constantly in school suspension. I had a seat with my name on it there almost. It brought me to a point of suicide. I got to thinking, why me? Why am I like this? Why do I have to go through this? I even attempted to take my own life. Thankfully, it didn't work out in my favor. Instead, something better happened. I always had this strange relationship with music, a relationship that helped me broaden and grow as a person. I related to people like Tupac Shakur or Eminem, bands like Korn or System of a Down, Linkin Park, Evanescence even. I related to their struggles and their pains. I felt them deeply into my soul. And it got me thinking, I could do that as well. If people would only see me as the white boy, I would give them something to look at. So I started saying things that I wanted to say to people towards my wall, rhyming when I could. And whenever someone was beating on a table at lunch, I would jump in, say my piece. And I stopped being known as the white boy or Casper or Ghost Boy. And I became, oh, that's the guy who can rap. That meant a lot to me. I also had this affinity for superheroes, mainly Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero. And I recognized with his great power and that responsibility, he could change things. So I could be Spider-Man. I could create me a person who people would see if they would only just see past my appearance. So I created this alter ego named Robin X, who would be everything that I wasn't at the time. He wouldn't be meek or silent. He would say what was on his mind. He would be courageous. And he would have everything put together as though it was written. He would be like Malcolm X. He would be like Martin Luther King. He would be like DMX, using his pain to heal pain. And music would be my spider powers. Thankfully, I didn't get bit by a radioactive mica or anything, but yeah, it started from there. I started as young as 11 and 12 years old. My mother called me into the studio one night. I don't even think she knew I could do music, ironically. I think something just told her, whatever this divine presence or the universe did, it made her call me in. And we did a freestyle session. And that freestyle session turned into a song called They Love Me. I hope no one goes to look that up after this. It's a very terrible song, but that turned into something else. My mother did music as well, but she put the mic down once she heard my voice. She ended up calling my now manager, Richard Herbie, and saying, Richard, I'm done. And him being shocked, well, Latoria, what do you mean you're done? I'm done with music. I don't want to do it anymore. I see something better, something stronger, my son. And me and Richard have been working together since I was a child. He's been my mentor and best friend. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for him. My journey is to spread awareness about my condition so no other child has to feel alone, while also combating the things that brought me to the brink of suicide, and using my pain to heal pain. I was always in tune with this quote from Confucius. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. I wanted to be the one who could, the one who can, and I will, and I shall. And here we are today. me speaking to you all, an organization that is bringing representation to other Black technological professionals. My mom actually, after her putting down her mic, she went into IT. She's always had a thing and an affinity for computers and such. So she wanted to be here, but she had other duties to attend to today. But this made her happy. Her being an African-American woman in this field, and now she's a college teacher teaching people what she's known and learned, being a mentor to others. It's hard to come behind what Jarek said because of a lot of his metaphors were so potent, so solid. I admire them extremely. It takes a lot of courage to be in a position that you all are in. And thank you to Joy for having me be a part of this event and being able to speak with you all. It means a lot. And thank you so much, John, just for your charisma and everyone that you've helped along your journey. I want to be that voice. I want to be that voice as well. Spreading awareness, being a humanitarian, it means as much as the hearts that I touch. If I'm not touching any hearts, then these are just titles that people are placing upon me. They have no weight. If I'm not saving people or if I'm not talking to people, then what is the point? So that's why I sit here today, using my pain to heal pain.
Rob, that's such a powerful story. Every time I listen to you and every time I hear, what you've experienced and what you've gone through, and, some of those things, are very sad and, quite frankly, depressing, what you've experienced, but you hadn't shared that with us today. We've had that in our own private conversations, but, thank you for being such a guiding light to others, and lighting that path, right? You're the flashlight lighting others' path. So thank you so much for doing that. And I also want to wish you a happy early birthday because you'll be turning 23 very shortly.
Yes.
You can kind of share everybody, I just thought this was so awesome how you were choosing to celebrate your birthday. And I'm like, you could have went on a trip, to some exotic place. You could have, did X, Y, and Z with a bunch of your friends. But no, that is not what you're doing on your 23rd birthday. So can you tell us all what you're doing?
So,
19th?
Yeah, of course. So my birthday is on December the 18th. So instead of just sitting around and eating cake, what I wanted to do is partner up with people and spread awareness about another thing. I partner with an organization called Music is My Doc. Music is my drug of choice, that is. And we've decided to work together to raise money for Harbor House and to also supply feedings, housing, raise money for them so they have access to help other people who are dealing with addiction and other forms of mental illness. So we will be doing that on December the 18th at Growlers. That will be from 12 to 4, if I'm not mistaken, alongside other acts like Paul Crum, Mama Honey, and Danny. Can't remember his last name, but he's probably gonna kill me for that. But Danny, Paul Crum, Mama Honey, and myself, and a few other special guests will be doing what we can to raise as much money as we can. So if you guys would like to, please come down to Growlers. I would appreciate it very much. But if you all have a very busy day, and I'm sure you do because you're extremely professional and well put together, it would mean the world to me if you did.
Well, thank you. I think you all made us feel very guilty for not doing such great things on our birthdays. So we'll definitely try to reach out and support you. We got a couple of things going on in the chat. I think Karen said, "Where's your TED Talk?" So you should get on that next time there's a Memphis TEDx. You should get on that.
I would love to, actually. Yeah, I love TED Talk. They have a lot of amazing interviews and things like that where speakers come up and talk about their stories. So that would be wonderful.
We do have a question from an anonymous attendee. What can people do to better support their friends or loved ones through mental health struggles?
The best thing that I could recommend is stepping outside of yourself and not going to them as yourself. You're going there to understand and essentially level with them. Sometimes I know when certain children have experienced mental illness where they'd say to me, "Well, Robin, I don't feel like my parents get me," or whenever I'm going through this thing, they go, "Oh, well, why are you going through this thing? Why do you feel this way when you have this, that, and the third?" Essentially, you just want to go to people and understand them, seek to understand them first and help after. once you understand a person, then you could then see exactly how to give your aid. The same way a doctor would run tests upon you before they give you your dosage, that kind of thing. I would say seek to understand first.
Well, thank you for that, Rob. Vernon has asked, Robin X, as a rap fan and hearing you relating to Rage Against the Machine, do you think that they receive their props in the Black community? Why or why not?
I believe so. I think Rage Against the Machine are extremely influential, and a lot of the bands that I've run across in my time in Memphis, because it's full of them, and a lot of them are Black bands. A lot of people are extremely influenced by them, and they know what Rage Against the Machine did for other people when they were in the music industry as heavy as they were. In the same way, other bands like Korn made a way for rock and rap to fuse, or Linkin Park made a way for rock and rap to fuse. It's just an idea of what you want to take from each band and what you want to learn from it. But I definitely think everyone is influenced by them in some degree, including myself.
I think that's all we have time for right now, Rob. Great talking to you, always a pleasure. I'm sure everyone learned a lot from your story and felt very inspired by what you had to say. Justin, I think, put a link earlier in the chat about your website for Robin X, Team Robin X merchandise. So I think he also put the discount code in there that people can use to, buy some of your gear. So that's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to great things ahead for you, Rob. Wish you much success. But before we go, I'm going to announce a winner of a gift that you're giving away from Robin X merchandise, Team Robin X, right? So
Yes.
It looks like Jerome has sent me our next winner. That's Lindsay. Can you put that in the chat, Jerome, so they know they won? Lindsay. Congratulations. You have won Robin X merchandise. Rob, I think that consists of like one of your shirts, and so we'll need to get his size, of course. Your autographed book, your children's book, so the colors of Olay, so the personalized copy of that, and a Team Robin X wristband. So awesome.
Definitely. Congratulations to you, Lindsay.
Well, thank you again, Rob, for your time. Please stay well. We will definitely be in touch, and happy birthday again.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for having me. This event is going so well. I'm so happy to be a part of it. I hope everyone is well. Be safe.
Thanks, Rob. So I think now I'm going to turn it over to my friend, Justin. Justin Cooper is our Memphis area chapter leader.
Thank you, Joy. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being with us here tonight at the inaugural BUiLT International Recognition Awards. My name is Justin Cooper. I'm the BUiLT International Memphis chapter leader. I've been an IT professional for 35 years, and I currently hold many IT leadership positions. But to me, recently becoming the BUiLT International Memphis chapter leader is one of the most important positions I've ever obtained during my career. Like many of our members, presenters, leaders, as a person of color, I know and have personally experienced many of the challenges and obstacles that people who look like us encounter in the technology space. When I think back, what ultimately led me to BUiLT was an incident in the beginning of my career where, after working remotely for a year with a particular insurance provider, multi-million-dollar company based in the southern United States, at the company-sponsored celebration to mark the end of the upgrade for which the company completely covered all my travel expenses to attend, walked through their lobby to the receptionist desks, and looking up at me before I could even utter a word, she told me deliveries were made around the side. Told her who I was, and although she immediately recognized my name, the shock and disbelief in her voice as she confirmed that I was Justin Cooper, the computer guy, it just couldn't be hidden. So as I confirmed by giving her the itinerary and the name tag that she just FedExed me a few days earlier, I can't be completely sure, but I think I distinctly remember hearing the gears in her head churning as the mental processing happened. As you can imagine, throughout the rest of the evening, heard that same expression, same tone numerous times. Now, while many of you may be shaking your heads or feeling sorry that I experienced that, understand that that incident and those reactions of a shattered preconditioned notion fueled my fire to not only excel in the technology space, but to continue to overcome those notions by helping to find others who did look like me in the same space and allow them to experience the same thing. I had a goal that I've been slowly achieving throughout my career through mentoring and education to this end. One day, while searching for new avenues in which to continue that goal, I came across BUiLT International. And in learning that there was not only an organization whose mission matched my own, but also serendipitously had an opening for a local leadership position. As our leaders and co-founders, John and Peter, can attest, immediately began reaching out to them in pursuit of filling that position. So I'm extremely proud to be involved with BUiLT International, and even more so to lead the organization's Memphis chapter. And although I'm too new to the position to qualify for the recognitions being bestowed upon our celebrated members here tonight, I guarantee that next year's BUiLT International Recognition Award Gala, I and the Memphis chapter and its members will be taking home several of the awards we're about to see presented tonight. So as Bruno Mars once said, don't believe me, just watch. I'm throwing down the gauntlet and making this declaration. And with that, I turn it back over to you, Joy.
Actually, let's go let John pick it up, since John is going to give us the winners for the chapter awards. So John.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Justin. Joy said, don't believe me, just watch. A wise man, Bruno Mars once said, right? So yeah, Justin, duly noted. So you heard it here first, folks. You know, it was one of our newest chapters. Memphis is the chapter to watch for 2022. You just spoke it into existence. All right, and finally, the moment chapter teams have been waiting for, our chapter awards. We have 2 awards for chapters that we are presenting today. First is our Emerging Chapter of the Year Award, which recognizes a rising chapter in the BUiLT family that is paving a way and establishing its brand as a chapter to watch. Second is our Chapter of the Year Award, which recognizes the chapter that has provided their membership with the best overall set of programs and activities. Any chapter is eligible. This category is all about execution and results. All right, our Emerging Chapter of the Year. So our nominees for the 2021 Emerging Chapter of the Year are the Austin chapter, led by Rashaka Boykins, the Metro Atlanta chapter, led by Audrey Bell Kearney, and the Twin Cities chapter, led by Nee Quarshi. And the winner of the 2021 BUiLT Emerging Chapter of the Year Award is the Twin Cities chapter, led by Nee Quarshi. To say a few things about Twin Cities. So Twin Cities has shown great promise in 2021. They are consistent in their participation in our chapter leader collaboration sessions. Twin Cities also coordinated one of our more successful local chapter events, with Python ETL, which stands for Extract, Transform, and Load. And it's the main process through which enterprises gather information from data sources and replicate it to destinations like data warehouses for use with business. As a result of this event, we plan to deliver an ongoing education series in Python and data science in 2022. Nee, congratulations to your chapter, and thank you for your leadership. We look forward to more great things from Twin Cities in 2022.
I'm incredibly honored to join you today and to be accepting this award for Best Emerging Chapter on behalf of our Twin Cities Chapter Center community. I'm so proud of what we've been able to accomplish so far this year, even as a new chapter. My goal has always been for this chapter to be a place where people come to build networks, relationships, and have that become a community where we can support each other's goals and ambitions. So a huge thank you to BUiLT, the leadership team for the recognition, our chapters and chapter leaders from around the US, and also to individuals and companies locally here, including my own company, Target, who put in so much work behind the scenes with partnerships and assistance and presentations and speakers and so on. Thank you for your commitment to what we're building. And lastly, a special thank you and shout out to members of the Twin Cities chapter. This award is for you. It's been amazing to see the growth in the membership base, the connections being made across BUiLT in general, and for starting to make this feel truly like a community and not just a group. I'm looking forward to 2022 to build on what we have so far and to continue to contribute to your journey within tech, as well as add value to your personal and professional development. Thank you.
All right, thanks to Nee for sharing a few words. Next up, Chapter of the Year. So the nominees for Chapter of the Year are the Philadelphia chapter, led by Carla Hill and Clinton Johnson, the Los Angeles chapter, led by John Melanson and Chris Clark, and the North Texas chapter, led by Peter Beasley and extended team. And the winner of the 2021 BUiLT Chapter of the Year award is the North Texas chapter, led by Peter Beasley, Gerald Trueblood, Terrence Bunkley, Kanisha Washington, and Byron Purdy. So North Texas has outperformed in 2021. They have hosted the most remote and physical events than any other chapter. They are the only chapter with more than 3 people on the leadership team. They have sourced the most sponsorship dollars through local chapter personnel. Congratulations, North Texas, to you all on a well-deserved achievement.
It is an honor for North Texas to be recognized as BUiLT Chapter of the Year. I'd like to recognize our co-leaders, Kanisha Washington, Terrence Bunkley, and Byron Purdy. It has been an honor to serve alongside you and support you in our collective mission. A special thanks to our North Texas founder, Peter Beasley, for his vision, dedication, and direction. We look forward to moving the calculus of Blacks United in leading technology into 2022. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gerald, for sharing those words. And then Joy, I'll go ahead and turn back over to you.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Congratulations to all of our nominees and winners for our BUiLT 2021 Chapter Awards. Very proud of you all. So keep that momentum going for 2022, because just know that Memphis is coming for you, right? I mean, Justin already put it out there in the universe, so you better watch out. Memphis is going to take it next year. Just saying, y'all witnesses. So it is time for another winner. That's right. No go backs on that. No go backs. It's time for another winner. I think we're going to give away another $10 Amazon gift card. So I'm going to ask Jerome if he could give me the next winner so we can make that announcement. And while I'm waiting on the winner to come across, let's see if we can look in the chat. Oh, we've got a lot of congratulations. You know, different shout outs to North Texas. So congratulations on that. You know, very glad that, okay, so Justin, really, Memphis is coming for the crown in 2020. You're gonna reiterate it? Okay. Kanisha's like, she can see Memphis. Okay, well, that's some encouragement. It looks like John has said Felicia Coleman is our next winner. Felicia Coleman. So congratulations, you've won a $10 Amazon e-gift card, and we will be sending that to you to your email address on file with BUiLT. So congratulations once again. And actually, you know what, Jerome, give me like 2 more names. Give me 2 more names, because I'm feeling like really generous right now. You know, we had all that warm and fuzzy from Jarek and Robin X, and you know, just the good story that Justin shared, and then you've got our chapter winners, and it's like, well, let's make some other people winners. Okay, so give me 2 more names. Okay, so we've got Karen Cummer, and then we've got Kimberly Bell. So Karen, you have won the Deity VR headset for smartphones. So congratulations on getting that VR gear, because you're a Black leading, United leading in technology. We wanted to make sure you had some VR merchandise. And then also Kimberly, you also win a pair of Hamato portable pocket VR lenses for smartphones. So you get that prize. So congratulations to you both for being winners. Everybody's winner tonight. But you know what? We still have more prizes in store. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. And I know that all of you are just waiting to get more prizes, right? All right, so now I'm going to turn it over, I think, to Kanisha Washington, so she can present our individual awards.
I can see. Thank you, Joy. Good evening. I am Kanisha Hill Washington, BUiLT board member and sponsorship committee chair. I have the honor of presenting 2 individual awards for this year. 1, Technology Professional of the Year, and 2, Technology Innovator of the Year. Our BUiLT Technology Professional of the Year award goes to the tech professional member who has demonstrated notable or outstanding service and/or contribution to the technology sector, their employer or organization, and to the practice of technology in their community. Our 2021 BUiLT Technology Professional of the Year is Terrence Buckley, North Texas Dallas chapter. Terrence seemingly came out of nowhere and immediately started making an impact on the organization in a major way. He is an AWS cloud subject matter expert and has presented multiple times to our BUiLT audience. Being a resident cloud SME would be enough. However, Terrence also leads many activities on behalf of the North Texas chapter. His depth of knowledge, approachability, willingness to teach, and his willingness to wear multiple hats of leadership in a volunteer organization is relatively unmatched in our organization. His depth of cloud knowledge combined with his ability to teach is a rare skill. I am very proud and honored to work alongside Terrence in our chapter. Congratulations, Terrence, on being named the 2021 BUiLT Tech Professional of the Year.
I'd like to say thank you all for this award. I really appreciate the honor. In fact, it is my honor to be able to serve and help everybody. As you all know, I'm a huge technologist and I love to see people excel technically and use technology. So it's been a journey, definitely putting in the work. It's been a lot of fun work, especially with what we did with American Airlines, as well as the things we did with in fact, we did 2 tech symposiums. So the work we put in has laid the foundation to what I believe is something great. And I'm blessed by the opportunity, and I look forward to many more opportunities working with BUiLT and working with all the amazing individuals that I've met so far. So here's the onward and upward, looking forward to it.
I'm back again. Our BUiLT Technology Innovator of the Year Award honors a distinguished member who has served as a speaker and practitioner in an emerging technology field, who has presented to our BUiLT community on 1 or more occasions. Our 2021 BUiLT Technology Innovator of the Year is Jonathan Jennings. Jonathan Jennings of the Los Angeles chapter is a software engineer who works in augmented reality, virtual reality, and video game spaces. He is currently managing his indie VR game at Weird Kids Studios named Galactic Bar Fight. He's been a guest lecturer at university and national conferences. His first published essay, Black Unicorn, is available to read in his book, Game Devs and Others, Tales from the Margins. He's been involved in multiple development roles, including rapid prototyping, core mechanic programming, user interface engineering, multiplayer programming, and publishing processes for releases, among others. He has over 9 years of development experience across both games and VR, MR, and AR applications. Titles he has worked on have had over 2 million cumulative downloads across several platforms. When not working, he is most likely playing and studying the latest giant mainstream release or an obscure indie game. Jonathan has been a reliable friend to our community for many years and also volunteers his time to share his knowledge with middle and high school students. Congratulations, Jonathan, on being named the 2021 BUiLT Technology Innovator of the Year.
Thank you so much for the award, BUiLT. Much of my career success has been centered on working with emerging technology, so it feels really good to be recognized for my contribution to the space in that way. First and foremost, I have to thank God because this year was tough for me and my family, and it took a lot of prayer to work through. Secondly, I have to shout out my mama, Helen Fortin, my biggest cheerleader, example of hard work and determination and how to make a lot out of little opportunities. I love you, Mama. I want to shout out my siblings, Essie, Anime, Joe, Amber, Shani, and Valerie. Thank you all for your constant support and encouragement. I love you, and thank you for loving me when I was just your quiet, nerdy brother. Shout out to my girlfriend, Haley, who doesn't always understand my work, but is so supportive and encouraging whenever I pursue something new. I love you, baby, and thank you. So to all the future tech innovators, keep fighting for those opportunities. If you haven't experienced them now, they're coming, and just keep fighting so that you can succeed too. Thank you.
Wow, that was, we got some really great award recipients here this evening. So very, very impressive. Congratulations to both of our technology winners, Terrence and Jonathan. So the winning continues. Time for some more door prize winners. I want to give away another $10 Amazon e-gift card, and I'm also going to give another set of VR wear. So our first winner, so this winner gets the Amazon e-gift card. That's Vernon Hallman. Vernon Hallman. You are a winner of a $10 Amazon e-gift card, and we will email the e-gift card to your email address on the membership file. So congratulations for winning that. Who is our next winner? Timothy Butts. Timothy, you have won the Deity VR headset with Bluetooth controller for smartphones. So congratulations on that. And Chloe Hewington, you have won a pair of Hamato portable pocket VR lenses for smartphones. So congratulations on your win there. Congratulations. All right, so I think we've given away enough prizes for now, but we will still give some more away later on in the evening. So bear with us, stay tuned for our final drawing at the end of the session, okay? So now I would like to turn it over to our esteemed director, executive director, and board chair, Peter Beasley.
Thank you, Joy. We're building up to our Member of the Year award. Do you feel the excitement? So I think I have 7 minutes for this segment. Let's see how I do. First, let's not forget there is a worldwide pandemic still underway. What is it, Omicron now? Some of you have had wedding destination plans and graduations that were canceled. Unfortunately, we've lost so many people over the last months and the last 2 years. Think about it. BUiLT was born in a pandemic. And so what did our members do? We launched with a virtual format. I said earlier, it was hard, very hard to pick a Member of the Year. And to do so, it required a walk down memory lane. There was so much learning, growing, camaraderie in the BUiLT family that we've created. So please indulge me. You can't have a Member of the Year award without highlighting our members. We have so many testaments to and from our members where we have to share just a few.
But there are core pieces in this training that helps, especially if you're focusing on business management, project management, and being a business analyst and things of that nature. That'll definitely help, I believe, any business from small to large.
I came in not having the background in yellow belt, but a credit to Tyrone and to all of the other people in the class who helped me get up to speed quickly and explain concepts in a way that it was easy for me to follow along.
I like the style. And I don't know if it's just this group, but we seem to have a real good collaboration and cohesiveness with this group. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna go to black belt together. This is near dear to me, and just being with you guys and listening to all the different stories and feeling like you're a part of something helps a lot too. So I really appreciate Tyrone and Peter. So look forward to the next step, and thanks a lot for including me.
Hi everybody, green belt. When I took on this challenge and when I came into this class, you are about changing the process to teach us, and for that I applaud you. You use practical skills so that we can learn and to take away from to take home to back to our jobs. The 2 things that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use it: box plots,
yep,
and dot plots. I'm going to use it over and over.
Well, you're going to be a superstar with that one, I tell you now. Round of applause for that. Great job, great job.
Some jurisdictions have been able to get back out. With our governor here in Texas, business is moving forward. Why are these monthly get-togethers important? It creates family. On the front row here in Austin are Cameron and Raquel, and you'll see their names further in the presentation. Thank you, Rashaka. We at BUiLT can dress down for meet and greets, but we also dress up nicely too. We want fancy experiences for all of our members because that's a part of the tech experience. And these outcomes are available for Black people to enjoy too. In building community, we bring people along from our corporate partners, from our allies, and from their employee resources groups into our membership. We thank you. I know everyone has Zoom fatigue, but today we have over 100 RSVPs for a Saturday evening event. Let's not just RSVP. Come on, folks, let's show up too. Why? We are now quite literally on speed dial with some corporations looking for top Black talent. And they're asking for people by name. That's no lie. Thank you to our members who show up and validate what we do. let's all get in the picture. And as John said, we are excited about some of our new chapter leaders in San Antonio, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Detroit, Toronto, and Memphis. Justin, Joy, I heard that challenge and we're coming for you too. My mom has attended events in Addison, Rowlett, and 2 in San Antonio. I'm thinking, Mom and me, we're gonna jump in the Prius and come through Austin, Houston, New Orleans chapter, Jackson, and then roll up on y'all and see what's really going on in Memphis.
Hi, BUiLT.
Get in the picture, you can too. We have had so many people to thank, including one of our 3 co-founders, DeAndre Laverty. We wouldn't be here today without DeAndre. That's a fact. We miss you, and we have a special award for you too. Part of the challenge of any new organization is how do you build a team when you're just getting started? Well, often you get started where you can and grow and morph as you proceed. As we change and grow, our needs will change too. Our volunteers find other pursuits and opportunities in their lives. We thank you all, and we offer a special shout out to our mission-aligned friends and colleagues at Blacks in Technology in great cities like Tampa, Portland, and Raleigh-Durham. As a nonprofit advocating racial equality in tech, there are people willing to join and help us at no cost or at a materially reduced cost. We have much love for our vendors who have donated resources to help. We thank you all. And Eddie, that intro was pretty hot. So let's keep it moving with my 8-minute segment. We have a growing small staff, and as an organization, we do a lot with a little. If you are looking for a nonprofit organization to donate to, believe me, we are extremely cash efficient. We all love Chloe here in Plano. She's volunteered and been with us the longest. Dana joined just in October, also from the Dallas area, and she's helping us with our career portal. Cameron's new, also with us from October 2, from Austin, and he has an incredible job leading our marketing efforts and being instrumental on the communications committee. Member of the Year, we're almost there. Now you might notice a bit of a theme in this awards presentation about the North Texas chapter and its members and leaders. It's purely accidental, but somewhat of a consequence of us having full-time staff here. But there is no doubt we are an international organization. I think everyone could hear Chris Ann's unmistakable Jamaican accent as she hails from Clarendon, Jamaica. We do experiment with things here in Dallas. We go bowling this Thursday with American Airlines. I do set the bar high for the North Texas group and its co-leaders, but we've slipped up a time or two here, that's for sure. If I can just take 8 more seconds, there's one other shout out. Terrence is getting married this Sunday and he starts a new job Monday. We had an in-person event this past Thursday, 2 days ago, and Terrence showed his support for Kenisha's event that she led. I was there too. But 2 weeks ago, he and his fiance flew back from Dubai, and Terrence came from the airport to our in-person event that night before it was over, and before he gets locked down in wedded bliss. And yes, Ashley, Terrence is really coming to our BUiLT events. We work through committees. What I've been emphasizing in my talk is we are a family. We have mothers, children, husbands, parents, wives, partners, and fiancés. I'm here to thank all of our extended family who help our members and leaders have the time to participate. I'm not going to read everyone's names, but I do want to acknowledge our Holiday Gala Committee. I know I put a lot of pressure on this team. Most of it was deliberate. Some of it was not. But we are constantly moving to new levels of accountability, and I sincerely thank you. In fact, we all do, for the quality and excitement that you are delivering today. I applaud you. We all applaud you. Someone please put in the chat, how am I doing with my 9 minutes? So our holiday gala would not be complete without acknowledging our board of directors. If you could say John and I are in the senior class, and I'm not picking on anyone's age, our sophomore class joined mid-year 2021. And even with an offering like this holiday gala, you would be surprised at how often we have to rely on each other as a team to lead into success. Remember, everyone has day jobs, families, children. We meet nights, weekends. We have my board meetings that seem to never stop. And there are late night calls we take and give too. Carla, Carrie, I thank you ladies for helping in so many ways. Freshman class joined in September of 2021, Terrell, Darius, Joy, and Kenisha. Unfortunately, life has happened for Terrell and he's been unable to participate thus far. He paid lifetime dues, so we look forward to seeing where we are with Terrell in January. And if you saw the list of committees, Darius has programs, and it's the one with the most responsibilities and the largest team. Already, Darius is taking the reins in so many positive ways. I'm pleased today to announce our newest director, Brenda BUiLT. Brenda hails from Minnesota, and she's Senior Director for Cybersecurity at Target Corporation. She has a strong background in compliance, diversity, and security, and Brenda will be jumping in as an officer serving as treasurer. We have tangible growth metrics for 2022, and one corner we will turn is migrating from event sponsorships to primary funding from annual sponsorships. In that regard, we'd like everyone to come out for our January 2021 Allyship Award celebration, January 15th, and to recognize those partners and sponsors who have carried us this far along. Thank you, Brenda, and it's not too late for everyone else. You can get in the picture too. This has been so amazing to be a part of such an awesome organization. It's been so much fun, and I've really been literally watching hours and hours of our past videos just so that we can really recognize our member of the year. There's a clip of one of our members who took a 2-day Lean Six Sigma class while he was driving a semi-truck cross country. He got his cab all set up with a camera and monitor so he could attend the class, and attended the practice sessions and the work activities. And at the end, he literally stood up while driving and clapped and thanked BUiLT for his experience. So I'm still looking for that clip. I've got it somewhere. It is awesome. The BUiLT family is built forward on purpose. We are special. I'm saying this to encourage you all to get in the picture. We have a dynamic bunch of chapter leaders, volunteers, and staff working on a common goal to improve society through racial equality for Black people in tech. We're here to help society. It's fun and rewarding. Come join us. There was one of our volunteers, a lady, and Joy, you might bring up the next slide, that just agreed from the membership ranks to join us on the recognition committee. And it's because of Joy Tony, and truly only because of her that we are here today on this Saturday. Why is that? We were too busy. We were so busy, we overlooked taking a pause to thank our members, leaders, and volunteers. How often do we do that in life with our family members, our loved ones, our children? But Joy set us straight. And I can say this in the most positive light. In just the short time that we've been working together, you lead me to the most introspection, Joy, of anyone else on the board. Thank you sincerely, Joy, for helping me grow as a leader. And on behalf of the organization, thank you for putting together this great team and fabulous event. Thank you, Joy, for all you do for BUiLT. So moving on, we've got a couple other little shout outs in the tech community, tech investment community. Venture capitalists always say they take a B or C idea with an A team, like Jarish said earlier on. Having founded and led my own tech startup for 18 years, the fundamental problem my company faced and never really overcame was not starting with the co-founder. John Melanson is that A player you'd always want. He's smart, good looking, and has a heart of gold. He's always looking for win-wins for everybody, and he absolutely supports all of his people. John and I complement each other in so many ways, where it's a fact that BUiLT would not be here if not for our teamwork, friendship, and the values that John brings. He's been in the game a long time, dating back to 2011, and before that with BDPA. He told me he's already bought himself a new 49-inch monitor for Christmas, and he has all the gaming gear he needs. So John, please accept my personal e-card gift from me to you and your family. So, and let's just see where we go from here. And if you could just hold on that slide there for a second, Joy. Our Member of the Year Award. It was July 8th, 2021, so that's not too long ago. We in North Texas were back out on one of our Black Tech Thursdays in Uptown Dallas on the back patio. I was sitting, kind of posted up where I could see what was going on, and I saw this lady from the parking lot. She walked straight up to us and said, "Is this the Black Tech group?" Now, most people who walk into a restaurant looking for us for the first time, I can spot their confusion at the door. I see them looking for us. I see them, I go up, I go get them. this was different. She said she'd been following us, and I think she just said following, not stalking, following us for a while online, and that she liked what she had seen and said she had adjusted her schedule to find a time to meet with us. Very intentional. We had an event 2 weeks later with the North Texas group trying to include our Fort Worth family. I drove all the way there, and the only other person who attended, it was her again. So there I asked, do you want to get involved with BUiLT further? And she said, probably. Tell me more. And she jumped in on our fundraising committee in late July. And today she sourced and helped us on several grants and donation opportunities. She's literally already brought in money to fund the company, the organization. And we have one grant opportunity we're expecting to hear from, good news on this week. So things were going pretty good. So I asked if she'd be interested in being one of our co-leads in Dallas. And again, she asked, what does it entail? We discussed our requirements and she said, I'm in. And today she's led the most events in North Texas of our co-leads, serving on panels, delivering as a speaker, but most importantly, she shows up. She attends the most events of our co-leaders virtually or in person. So you know me, I kept asking. So would you be willing to serve on our international board? And again, she asked first, what are the requirements? I said, first you have to pay dues. And boom, she did that too. So next slide there, Joy. Kenesha Washington now serves as a director who joined on our board in past September. She leads a sponsorship committee and works on our staff as director of fundraising. She's on 2 other board committees, and she is a co-lead of the dynamic North Texas chapter. John, she's right up there with you and me, I think, with the most titles, and she's only 6 months in. But what I like most is she tells me no. If she can't help on a project, she says so. If she's not going to make an event or a meeting, she formally cancels the invitation. Kenesha Hill Washington is a real estate investor, entrepreneur, and realtor based in Arlington, Texas. Guess what? She's pivoting into tech. She's licensed and insured agent and a graduate of University of North Texas, where she received a Master's of Science in Merchandising. That's where that eye for fashion came from. When Kenesha is not using her real estate knowledge and merchandising expertise to successfully close deals, she is spending time with family, volunteering at her daughter's school, and helping the community through various organizations such as Successes Ours Foundation, Tarrant Food Bank, and the Houston Food Bank. Miss Washington is a single mom, and I tell her all the time, I have no idea how you do it all. Please congratulate our BUiLT 2021 Member of the Year, my good friend, Kenesha Hill Washington.
Thank you. Thank you, BUiLT staff, Peter, board, volunteers, partners, and members. I will keep this short and sweet. I am truly honored to serve on such an impactful organization. I truly believe in what BUiLT stands for. I am a builder by nature, and I plan to continue to serve with and for our members. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kenesha. And if you all didn't notice, we have some powerful ladies leading this organization, and that's what I'm talking about. So happy for Brenda to join us, John, Terrell, Darius. We have to keep it up. And we have another one great, fantastic female leader coming up next. Joy, this is truly a grand party. Let's keep it rolling.
Well, thank you, Peter. Congratulations again, Kenesha, on your achievement. So happy for you. That was a great way to segue from one inspiring female leader to another, because our closing keynote speaker for this evening is truly a woman of power. Serena Hill has over 15 plus years experience in organizational change management, operations management, service delivery, disaster recovery, business continuity, project management, program management. She is recognized for her strategic mindset, her leadership, and her ability to mentor at all levels, college or executive. She is viewed as a trusted advisor to her leaders, subject matter expert in operations and program management by her peers. She was highly regarded by both internal and external customers for her ability to deliver services as promised. She transforms organizations by educating and leading them through the development of program management offices and disaster recovery and business continuity program offices. She has a keen ability to evaluate current processes, provide recommendations, and then implement changes, all while getting the team on board to embrace that change. Her philosophy is meet people where they are and then lead them to where you want them to go. Trina is also a published author with her newest book, Be Quiet and Pray, 19 prayers and devotionals for strengthening yourself during COVID-19. Trina holds a MBA with a concentration in leadership and management and a bachelor's from the University of Georgia's Terry Business College. She is a dedicated professional. She's dedicated to professional growth and mentoring and motivational speaking. She was awarded the Junior Achievement Service Award for the Terry College of Business for her continued service to students and faculty. She sits on the Terry MIS Advisory Board and participates in a number of other boards to enhance curriculum and the students' experience for both the undergraduate and graduate level programs. She is also a graduate of the Disney Institute. So I present to you now, Trina Hill.
Good afternoon, everyone. Listen, first and foremost, let me just say I have had a wonderful time sitting here listening to the wonderful speakers and really just basking in the joy and the love of family. I've heard this theme of family throughout this evening, and just seeing the great things that you're doing in the different chapters. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me to go through this experience with you all. I love it. Look, because there's nothing like family coming together, celebrating one another. But as I also listened to the celebrations, I also heard like there's a level of excellence and expectation of greatness amongst this group. So you have me on fire as I sit back and kind of mourn the loss of the football game tonight that my husband's yelling in the other room, where the Georgia Bulldog was beaten tonight by Alabama. And I am a Georgia dog through and through. So thank you, Joy. Thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to share just a little bit about my story and to engage with the BUiLT family. So, you know, when I thought about what I would talk to you about, your opener actually stole a little bit of my thunder. So this is how I know this message is really on point. He and I did not have a conversation, but a lot of the same nuggets that he brought up are some of the same things that I'm going to actually touch on. We did not compare notes, and then I was texting Joy to say this is amazing, and this is how I know that this is a word for this family at this given time. So I'm going to share just a little bit about my story, and then we'll go into a couple of takeaways, and then I'll turn it back over to Joy. So I am from Athens, Georgia. I'm a Southern girl, and for us and our family growing up, every single Sunday we went to church. And oftentimes right after church, we would have dinner in the dining hall. And when I was about 7 years old, I recall one situation that has been imprinted in my mind forever, where I was standing in line and a woman by the name, of Sister Ross, she stood behind me as I was waiting patiently to get my plate as the ladies prepared the meal for everyone. And she stood there and she began to talk to me. And she was the lady that played the piano in our church, and we called her Sister Ross. Always had a smile, was always very nice. And she bent down to me and she looked me in my eyes and she began to just speak life over me. She began to reassure me how smart I was going to be. She was sharing with me how wonderful I was going to be as I grow up. And she was telling me all these wonderful things about me. Every Sunday after that point, every time she would check in with me to see how school was going, ask me how I was doing, reminding me of this greatness that she saw in me. Now, remember, I was 7 years old, you're trying to figure it out. I was 7 years old and I didn't necessarily fit, which I think most of you understand that, especially being in technology. I didn't look like everybody else in my class. I didn't act like everybody else in my class. I stood out like a sore thumb. And so what she did is just reassured me that I was seen, I was heard, and I was loved, and she saw value. Believe it or not, during those times of those conversations, she would plant those seeds in me of encouragement and to remind me to keep going. And Sister Ross was with me through high school, college, as well as even seeing me get married and have my son. In addition to that, Sister Ross, I've had many Sister Rosses and many Mr. Rosses along my journey. There were people in corporate America, outside of corporate America, who would pull me to the side and they would encourage me. They would open up doors and allow me to come in and sit and listen to meetings. They would pull up seats at tables and make sure that not only was I sitting at the table, but they would make space for me to have a voice at that table. They would give me opportunities where they knew I didn't feel like I was ready for it, but they knew I was ready for it. Very similar to what Sister Ross saw. They saw what I could be, even if I didn't feel like I could be that. And even when they gave me those opportunities, they provide covering for me, because if I made a mistake, they wanted to make sure that they gave me space for grace. And they've done that. They did it in the past, and they continue to do that today. So I'm sure you're wondering, well, why do I even bring that up? I bring that up is because that's everybody's responsibility. It's our responsibility, being Black people in technology, especially Black people in technology, that we take the time to implant seeds, plant these seeds in each other, the generation before, the current generation, and even the generation after. Right? She took the time to feed me at 7, and she fed me to a certain point. There were other people that have fed me along the way. And then there are people that are feeding me today. Those seeds not only bore fruit for me, or bear fruit even today for me, but that fruit also was shared with other people. So as I coach, as I mentor, as I sit in this seat of senior vice president, the things that I've learned along the way by my Miss Sister Ross, and I'll say our Mr. Rosses that are out there, I continue their legacy. I continue the work of impact. I continue the work of taking the time and making sure that I plant these seeds in people. Even if I don't see them grow, I take the time to do it. And I do it because I believe you reap what you sow. Sister Ross could have stood in line on a regular Sunday, grabbed her plate, maybe smiled at me, maybe given me a wink, but she didn't do it. She took the time. She took the time. And that set up something that was so amazing, because as she saw me, I began to see myself differently. I began to get more confident, right? And I think we all probably have a Sister Ross or Mr. Ross somewhere along the line if we really were to go back to us being little people, even into our adult lives. It's really important that as we continue to navigate these spaces, oftentimes being the first, sometimes being the only, that we take the time to plant the seeds. I believe that it is not only just our responsibility. I believe that we want to not only bear fruit, but we want that fruit to continue, which then leads to our legacy. A lot of times we talk about legacy, we always hear about money. We hear about, wealth, generational wealth. And oftentimes we interpret that as money. To me, the most powerful things that I've received from the groups of people who didn't have money, because my parents did not have money, were those lessons of integrity, hard work. I'm a woman of faith, right? It was those small things, self-confidence, making sure I love myself, right? Those are the things that we need to leave as a part of the legacy of all of us. It takes a few minutes to plant a seed. It takes a few minutes for you to open the door for someone and give them an opportunity. It takes a minute for you to let them sit on the couch and just let them vent and to be an ear. For you to just simply listen, because sometimes we're going through stuff we've never gone through before. We can't call our parents. We have to just go through it. But for you to sit there and just listen and to meet people at their point of need, that's the call. We are in this space of technology, but it really truly is our place of ministry. And each of you were called, each of you was individually created for such a time as this, with your footprint, with the way you do what you do, for such a time as this, for that 7-year-old girl that stood in line, or the 7-year-old man that you may see in your community, or for that 17-year-old, that 27-year-old, that 37-year-old, and even that 67-year-old that you may just sit with just because he needs to be seen and validated. We are all called to be great. So as you think about the rest of this year, and I'm sure many of you are thinking about your goals, think about where should you be planting seeds? Where should you carve out time to be intentional about spending time, creating opportunities, and leveraging the impact that you have, regardless of your position, for the greater good of those that are coming behind you, those are sitting beside you, or even for those that have gone before you. Thank you. Joy, I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, Trina, I'm not sure what to say after receiving those blessings. You know, I mean, because I do feel very blessed right now. Very grateful for hearing your message this evening. Is all of the love in the chat that you're getting from people being inspired. Thanking you for your words of wisdom and encouragement, and you know, just having that positivity, and being able to hear that you can plant those seeds and give into other people and then receive that in yourself. Such great encouragement from you this evening. If you all have questions for Trina, please put those in the Q&A panel. We want to make sure that we get your questions answered while we have her this evening. But while we wait for you to put those questions into the chat, let's go ahead and give our final Amazon gift card winner tonight. And I think that is going to be Douglas Watts. Douglas Watts, I think, is our final Amazon gift card winner. So we'll make sure that you get that in your email box. That's your email address on file with BUiLT. So congratulations, Douglas. And Trina, I think when you and I had talked, you know, this is, like I said, such a great topic with encouragement and, you know, sowing seeds and giving into others and paying that forward. You were very generous and very kind enough to want to give away a copy of your book, as well as a free coaching session. I think it was 30 minutes, is it not?
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Could you give us just a little bit of taste of what's in your book?
Yeah, so thanks, Joy. Last year, God had placed on my heart to just write down prayers. Listen, we all were sent home and going through COVID, and it was the first time that everyone was experiencing what we were experiencing. And so I really just spent some time on my face and asking God, how do I help serve his people during a time where people could not even fathom how to pray? And so this book actually is focused on just 19 simple prayers. It's very simple. It's not overly, I'm going to call it churchy, but it's really to help you have the words to pray when you don't have the words to pray. Because there are some times when we're going through life and we're going through some things that we've never seen before that we just simply don't have the words. So the purpose of the book is really to help people navigate. And the focus was really just on the experience of going through COVID and what we were experiencing with children being home, aging parents, scarcity, all of these emotions that we all were dealing with. I tried to make sure that I document that, but then go back to what does God say about that? How do we leverage the word of God to give us power, even in the midst of chaos? So that's the book.
That definitely seems like a very inspiring devotional and something that I think all of us could use during these trying times that we're in right now. Definitely. So thank you for making that out into the world and putting it out there and sharing that resource with everybody. I think they actually put the link in the chat as well to your book on Amazon. So for anybody who chooses to, they can feel free to purchase that for themselves. But let's see who our winner is of a copy of your book. I think that is Christopher Epperson. Christopher Epperson, congratulations on winning a copy of the devotional. I hope that is a blessing in your life. So thank you so much for attending this evening, and look forward to that. And I also think that our winner of your 30-minute coaching session, Trina, is Yemi Afolabi. I think I maybe mispronounced that, but I think it's Yemi Afolabi. So congratulations, Jimmy. You've got the 30-minute coaching session. And so to all of our winners, we'll be reaching out to you via your email address that's on your membership file with BUiLT, with instructions on how you can redeem your door prize. So thank you again for that. Trina, it looks like we got a few questions for you here. I'm going to ask for the spirit of obedience next time, because these people can't follow directions for the last part of this meeting. I told them to put their questions in the Q&A, and they put their questions in the chat. So I'm trying to read through this chat. So bear with me, okay? All right, so I got a question from John. It says, Trina, what would you like your legacy to be for your family?
Well, that's a great question. And I have actually thought a lot about that. Really, to be honest, the one thing that I have a 17-year-old son. The one thing that I want my family to see is my faith in action. Being in these corporate spaces and the stuff that I have to deal with, and a lot of you have to deal with, if I did not leverage my faith, I probably wouldn't be here. Because we see a lot of stuff. We go through a lot of stuff. We have to navigate a lot of stuff, but really leaning on my faith and that, leaving that as a legacy. The money, I think, will be easy, right? You know, the accolades, you can always see that. But when times get hard, as I think about my own grandmother, what did she do when times were hard? She got on her face and she prayed, and she leveraged the word as her sword. That is what I truly want to leave for my family, especially my son.
Well, amen to that. You know, my mother also was a very strong woman of faith. Rest her soul, she passed away earlier this year. And, you know, definitely leaning on the Lord in times that are trying and hard, and just letting him be your strength. So, you know, I think that's absolutely amazing what you've instilled in that book of yours and what you're spreading as you speak to this audience, as well as other communities you've reached. We do have a question in the chat where someone was asking, you know, can people book you to speak at their functions as a motivational speaker? So what's your response to that?
Absolutely. I am honored to be asked.
Well, I will share the screen with your information here so people can scan that if they so choose. So there's your QR code if you want to go ahead and scan that so you can be in contact with Trina for your future events. Trina, do you have any other parting words for our audience this evening?
Yeah, the one thing I would like to just impart, and I heard a little bit about this during one of the sessions, is make sure you take care of yourself. What we tend to do in our community is, and most of us are leaders in our families, we're the first ones, we're the ones everyone leans on. And being a leader is a blessing, but it's great responsibility. And with that responsibility requires great restoration and rest. What we tend to do is we go from thing to thing to thing to thing. And we don't really give ourselves permission to rest. We don't give ourselves, with all of the stuff that's going on this year, we don't give ourselves to grieve what was. We don't give ourselves to grieve those that we may actually have lost. We don't give ourselves permission to sit in the emotion, because what we've been taught to do is suck it up and move on. What I would just ask each of you to do is make sure that you carve time for yourself to go get your cup full. You cannot pour out an empty cup. The people that are getting from your cup, pulling from your cup, should be getting your overflow and not what is in your cup. You have permission to take care of yourself, right? And the best leaders, some of the most phenomenal leaders, are those that take care of themselves, because you can't be who God's called you to be if you're tired, if you're sick, if you're mentally exhausted. We know that this COVID thing and the social injustice that we faced this past year, and look, some of us are still dealing with it every single day, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. But make sure you give yourself permission to get your cup full, and be okay that some people are not going to be happy about it. But you have a choice to choose you, and you're worth it.
Well, thank you, Ms. Hill. I think that's the word right there. You know, that's the mic drop moment right there. So I appreciate you coming out here and talking to us this evening. Such a blessing to have heard you and others speak this, you know, tonight. It's just been such a great joy to have listened to all of you. And thank you so much for your generosity. We'll definitely be in touch, and I will hope to see you soon, you know, after all this pandemic business is over. But you stay blessed, and we will definitely be in touch, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank
John,
you.
I think I'm going to turn it over to you at this point in time.
Thank you, Joy. Trina. Wow, I'm speechless. I don't know about everyone else, but I've had a lot of fun, this evening. Just a joy, pleasure to spend time with you all, our esteemed audience, and an opportunity to honor some of our most impactful chapters and members. Finally, to top it all off, I was able to hear from Jarek, Robin X, Trina, 3 powerhouse speakers here supporting our organization, Blacks United and Leading Technology International. I'd like to thank each of them for sharing their knowledge, wisdom, and encouragement to our group. Also on the screen, I'd like to give a special thank you to Mr. Peter Beasley, our fearless leader, Mr. Peter Beasley, who has worked tirelessly to move our organization forward. Our organization and the value we've delivered will not have been possible without his continued work and dedication. So Peter, thank you for leading our organization. You'll be receiving a surprise in the mail that I'm sure you'll enjoy. And then I also wanted to restate a thanks to our holiday gala team. I know they're a modest bunch, but thank you, Joy. Thank you to the extended team for all your hard work in making this event what it is today, bringing an idea to reality. Thank you. And then also wanted to give a quick shout out to, Mr. Eddie Matthews for all the production work, on this event. Thank you for that. I'm gonna drop some information into the chat if you wanna, take advantage of his talents for future things you may have in the works. And, with that, Joe, I think we can move to the next slide. All right, and for our audience, again, thank you for supporting, today's event. BUiLT, we continue to do the work to grow and develop tomorrow's information technology professionals by providing opportunity and mentorship to communities whose talents have been historically overlooked. So to succeed, we need diverse pools of talent to bring fresh perspectives and different outlooks to the table. So we not only strive for, for jobs and diverse representation in the workforce, but also equity, provide the opportunities of tomorrow. So if you've enjoyed today's content, please consider donating to BUiLT. Some of our jobs and organizations have volunteer match. That's an opportunity to also give, maybe have your donation matched by your company. So be sure to look into that and take advantage of that. We also are making it easy for folks too. So to donate, visit the web address or scan the QR code on your screen. We'll leave this here for a sec. And really with, with supporters like you and allies like you, you'll help us achieve our mission. So we really do thank you. So make sure you do save the link, scan it so you don't forget, you come back to it and definitely help us keep going with all the things that we are doing and will continue to do for you. Remember, it's about you. All right, next slide. All right, remember, we are a forward, progressive organization. So in light of that, lastly, as a special thank you for attending this evening, we're giving our attending members a commemorative NFT, which stands for non-fungible token. You can go Google it, look up what all that means. But if you don't know, we have experts. We'll have plenty of events in the near future to help educate you and take advantage of what this is all about. So to celebrate the occasion, we're earmarking our first year as an organization with an NFT. So please be on the lookout for a special email from BUiLT with instructions on how you can redeem your gift. Thanks again. I know I've said thank you like 5 or 7 times already, but I can't say thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's at least, more times, for really making our event special. We really do hope to see you at future events. Take a look at our upcoming events calendar. We have open conversations. We have a number of things in your area that'll scratch that itch. We're a friendly group of folks who are here to help answer questions, help you succeed. And again, once you make it to the other side, reach back, pull someone up. So I'd like to thank you all again for attending the event. Thanks to our panelists. Thanks to our staff, everybody. And until next time, stay safe and be well. Have a great night, folks.